It's the best place to walk. This is just beautiful.
About 4 years ago, I came across this idea, which is called earthing or grounding, getting in contact with the earth directly through your feet. And I live in Japan, which probably is the least connected place on earth. It's an advanced society. People live in huge cities. They all wear shoes. Everything's covered in asphalt and concrete. It's very difficult to get in contact with your planet. So actually, I've lived in Japan for 43 years. I've seen the health of the Japanese go way down in 43 years. They used to be far more robust. They used to be a lot noisier. They had a lot more piss and vinegar, as we say. And now I see people getting more and more depressed and unhealthy. And I actually connected to the idea of they're not connected to Earth. So we want to get everybody in Japan, first of all, everybody in Japan aware of how important it is for them to contact the Earth. So that every man, woman, and child will at least know, hey, connection with the Earth is vitally important to you. If we can do that, then we've succeeded. So the idea was, let's do something really crazy. Let's walk across Iceland barefoot and get more attention from the kind of people that I want to pay attention to this, which is everybody, not just health-conscious people, everybody. We are electronic beings. Our heart, our brains, our nervous system work on electrical impulses, which are deeply connected to the Earth's electrical potential. And if you wear these, you will not be connected to the Earth. This is made of plastic and rubber. Plastic and rubber are called insulators. So that means we walk on the Earth, but we are never actually connected to the Earth. So I want to demonstrate this idea in a way that's easy to understand, and I want to do it in a place that is ecologically and environmentally as pure as possible, as clean as possible, like the Earth used to be. So Iceland for me is like the primordial Earth used to be unpolluted, used to be clean. Iceland is that for me. The mountains on where he just came from. It's snowing. So today is March the 31st, and on February the 11th, after walking 2 hours in snow, I got frostbite on both soles of my feet. Couldn't walk for two weeks. Recovering now, and so today I'm going to start barefoot training again. So I'm going to take these off and see how the new feet do, because they literally are new feet. Wet, cold ground. Feels really good to me. So let's go. The feet are a lot more sensitive, so I can feel the cold. I can certainly feel the ground under me a lot more sensitive, but they're working. They're definitely working. Got to try and relax my body as I walk. See how it feels. It's still pretty cold up here, and definitely feeling much more sensitivity than ever before because they're brand new soles. So I'm gonna have to do a bunch more training, like daily training, to get the bottoms thick enough or strong enough to be able to get beyond the sensitivity that I'm feeling now. There's no mechanical problem with the feet, but there's definitely a much greater sensitivity, so I'm feeling it now. You have to pay attention to each single step, which means you can't be thinking about yesterday's business problem or my fight with my wife or some horse shit from a week ago. You can't think about it because your entire focus is on your feet. And this is an aspect of barefoot walking that you'll never, ever figure out unless you actually do it.
So this would be a great thing for people who are arguing. Just go out.
Exactly. We can solve all the marriage problems in the world. You guys go out walking together barefoot and you'll have no time to be fighting or getting pissed off with each other. And really, I mean, that's a good idea, Gunnar. Why the hell not? I don't see me getting a second shot at this. There's not going to be a second shot. I'm going to be 65 when I do this. So it's not like I can just, you know, call it quits and come back next year, because quite honestly, I don't think that's very likely. I think after I've gone through this, I'll be different. I won't be the same. I don't see how I can do this and remain the same. So what motivates me is that this is an adventure, it's a rite of passage, and of course it's going to be difficult, of course there's going to be problems, that's part of the deal. It's not a holiday, for Christ's sake. I know, you know, I'm realistic enough, it's no holiday. So age has got a lot to do with it. It's got a lot to do with it. It's a symbolic gesture to age. At my stage in life, giving up is not an option. Today's the 18th of May, starting on the 24th of June, so it's like 5 weeks from now. So it'll be summer! It'll be summer! I'm gonna leave my shoes down there. I'm not gonna pick the shoes up till I come back. And then I head out between the glacier and the mountain on the left. That's the initial route that I'll follow. Everything starts here, Thingvellir. Oh yeah, this is lovely. If it was like this all the way, it would be heaven. Well, this is the moment of truth. This is forbidding territory. This is like nowhere else on Earth. I mean, where are you going to find this? Absolutely nothing. Sheer emptiness. Wow. This is my house on the corner on the right.
So your original name is John Craig?
Yep.
And you're from Scotland?
Yep.
And now you have a different name?
Yep.
And you spent most of your lifetime in Japan. Why?
Japan represented for me the Shangri-La of finding answers. I'd already been all over the world traveling,
So when you were 17, you left Scotland and you traveled the world?
Basically from 17 to 22, I was on the road everywhere.
Okay.
70, 80 countries in that period. And I was, you know, it was like a quest. There's something I need to figure out. I couldn't have told you what that was,
Okay.
but it was obviously a quest for knowledge, for understanding. Life is a journey. Life is a pilgrimage, if you like. And let's do a great journey. Let's just go for it and do a great journey. And you can travel around here and there and do this and that, but Iceland is like, this has got to be a great journey. It's got to be something really different, really challenging, something that will grab like every cell of my body and shake it up and challenge me and make me wonder and question.
But why not shoes?
Shoes is boring, man. Anybody can do it in shoes. Shoes is like insulation, cutting you off from the planet. Shoes is bullshit. Barefoot means I'm actually contacting Iceland. I'm actually every minute of every day. And I swear to God, I'm not putting on a pair of shoes until I finished. So the entire time I will be in direct contact with Iceland, with the island. 24 hours a day, even when I'm sleeping, I'll be Earth. Now, how many people have ever done that? Icelanders, all day, connected with their own island? I don't think anybody. So, no shoes. No way. Comprende? Comprende? お前、わかったか? It's about me. The principal thing is about me. It's about me at this stage in my life. I'm going to be 65, and it's like, how many years do I have left to do a journey like this? Very, very few, possibly. So I want to do it now, and I want to do it in let's just say I want to go out in style. I want to get to the next stage of my life by doing something everybody says is crazy or impossible.
It's not the route, it's just, I mean, you don't want to follow exactly.
I would just follow the road here.
Yeah. So, in other words, here, rather than here.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But you see it here.
Again, since this is the beginning, you might as well just want to go along with the road here.
In the old days, I was told that people would use these routes to get down to the Althing, the parliament. They'd gather. And some of them would take the left route, some of them would take the right route, and there were advantages and disadvantages. But it had a history of the people of this country, the pioneers, actually doing it. So it was another connection, not just being connected to the land, but surely hundreds, maybe thousands of people had had far more difficult, challenging journeys across the Highlands than me.
Oh, yeah.
And I could connect to them. Map of the best routes for me. I don't know exactly how long it's going to be, maybe 4, maybe 500, maybe.
Oh yeah. This place is, it's like heaven, you know. This place it made me feel something, I don't know. So I was yelling and I was laughing and I was crying. And I felt pretty good about the speed. And then I went off the road into this totally different area with these low bushes, and I avoided the rocks in the bottom and I climbed through the bushes, which was pretty difficult actually, because the bushes are about this high. So I'm climbing through the bushes and there's all these butterflies coming out of the bushes. I finally got up to the ridge, and I had misunderstood directions and figured I knew the way. Lesson number one, I don't know the way. The GPS knows the way. But it was all covered in beautiful, thick, huge moss, and I felt so happy being in the moss, and I don't have to hurt. I don't have to have pain. I can actually enjoy this. And so I spent hours in the moss, and then I looked at my GPS, and it's the arrows going the completely different way. And then I pulled out my map, and I goes, wait a minute, the sun's over there. This is not right. So I sat down, I looked at the map, and I figured out north, south, east, and west, the real basic stuff. The real basic stuff. I should be going north. I have been going south for 3 hours. So 3 hours back was 6 hours extra. So the second day, so far, extreme pain. I already had damaged feet from last night, but the pain on this road is like something else. It just, every single step hurts. And I can deal with that through breathing and relaxing, but it's so slow. So, you know, already in my head, I'm calculating distances based on 1 kilometer an hour, not on 2 kilometers an hour. I can keep walking slowly every day. I know I can do that. But the whole route plan is based on a certain amount of kilometers a day. And at this speed, which is now 1 kilometer an hour, if I stay on this road, I can't do much better than 1 kilometer an hour, because each single step I got to look at. Every single step I got to look at. Where's my foot going? So that's incredibly time consuming and slow.
Það ekki að horfa á hann liggjandi hérna í götunni þegar maður sjá hvort hann er að blæða eða eitthvað. How are you doing?
Wow.
Is it difficult?
The Highlands is something else. You gotta love it and you gotta hate it too. I love the place and I hate the road. It really teaches you how to walk.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a way to walk on this, but it's very slow. It has to be very slow. And there's no way that you're gonna get your feet strong enough to just dance across the surface of this. It's always gonna be slow. That's what I realized. And to do it slow, you gotta breathe and you gotta relax, and that's what I've been doing all day. I think I covered about maybe 5Ks since 9 o'clock this morning, which is really slow. But this, I have to admit, is a killer. I don't like jagged rocks. Look at this. Wow. The moss approaches. There's moss. Ah, never thought moss could do this for a guy. Simple little moss. Yeah.
Okay, if you step on this, you can see.
Yeah, this is much better.
This is much better, you see.
Oh, God. Yeah. God, that is beautiful. Viva Icelandic moss. 7 hours on that gravel hell. That's the first time today my feet have felt good. Absolute torture it was. Oh, what a great idea this was. Now I'm gonna have an early night. I'm gonna eat something warm. And I've got an early night because I'm exhausted. It started 9 o'clock. What is it now? 6? Yeah, that's enough for one day. I'm gonna eat sardines and some nuts, and we got one gas burner, maybe some soup. Everything depends on weather and moving between here and where the cooker is. So right now I think sardines and cheese and some fruit and nuts should do the trick. And then a good night's sleep, and we'll be ready for another, I hope, mossy day tomorrow. Well, last night I made a decision, which is I just definitely cannot walk all of this trek on this. It'll destroy my feet. And there's no point in trying to be a hero and trying to be a tough guy, as nobody can walk on this all day without getting injured. That was made really clear. And you know, I think it was Gunnar left my earthing, like, you can't call them shoes, they're more like slippers. I think he left them in the car knowing that this would happen. Clever Icelander. And I just decided, you know, I don't want to let down my wife, I don't want to let down my family, my friends, and the people making this film, and all these people are dependent on me to actually finish this. So if I have to compromise by putting on my earthing shoes, I'm still connected to the earth and I don't get injured. And you know, I don't want to end up in a hospital. That's not going to be any good for anybody. So I made the decision. If I have to put these on, I will. The rest of the time, I'll walk on this incredible, I mean, this moss is definitely healing my feet. I can feel it. It's beautiful, it's bouncy, it's just incredible. Mother Nature is telling me a lot. It's difficult to explain, it's very hard to process, but it's like it's bringing all this stuff out of me, you know, like how I've lived my life so far. You get, I don't know, this place just does it. I recommend everybody comes here for at least a couple of days and gets a check-in with themselves. Big time check-in. Specimen A. This one's not too bad at all. This one got most of the damage. So I taped it up this morning just to cover the holes. But it's coming back really quickly, and the moss, the springy moss is actually really good for movement. It's a nice movement on the moss. I love it. I didn't expect this much moss. I'm so happy. So much moss. Today I followed the moss, and then there was a couple of places where I had to go over rock, so I really slowed down, got back on the moss and speeded up again. And the last 2 hours I've been only on the moss. It's just all around. So definitely I'm going to be the moss walker. I'm going to be the moss walker. What a day. What a day. A lot of the day was bounding over moss, just bounding, and full of energy, and it was great, you know. I had so many memories of childhood came back. It was like I was going back at the start of my life again. And then the most amazing synchronicity when the American group arrived, and Solveig and his friend arrived, and we had the most incredible confabulation with David Wolf in attendance, and I got a wonderful hug from one of the young women, which I really needed, and so it was a very special day.
good. Much better now. Much better now. That's all you do. Let me hug every now and again. Get you back on the spot, right?
I try to do now every day 30 minutes, 1 hour, just in grass, and I feel the benefits.
What do you feel?
You get more calm, you rest better,
Yeah, you rest better.
and so it's just like more parasympathetic activity in the body. And yeah, and then of course probably inflammation also.
Inflammation's a big one.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely good for inflammation, yeah.
So I think it's something that I'm gonna be continuing doing.
Why would you stop? It's interesting you're doing Wim Hof because I started cold showers 10 years ago. Yeah. And what a difference. And of course, nobody believes you.
I know.
They don't believe this. They don't believe cold is good for you. What are you going to do? Hello there, Chief. How you doing?
Best ever. How you doing? Look at you. How's your feet doing?
Look at
How you holding up?
Anyway, nice to meet you,
Nice
Chief.
to meet you. What's your name?
Ehan.
Ehan. Pleasure to meet you,
You
everybody.
too.
We're doing a little filming here. We got you guys here. How your feet holding up? Are you a barefoot person? You do barefoot all the time, or is this a thing you're doing for a mission?
Well, I've been doing it for like 4 years since the book, you know.
The earthing book.
The book.
Okay.
And it clicked.
Yeah. Everybody wants a science piece. We got that already. That's in the book. We know all that information. That's in the studies.
Yeah.
What's been going on for you psychically, emotionally,
Well,
mentally?
I had a dream about my wife last night. And it was, I mean, dreams definitely get richer. But last night, it was like a visitation.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a visitation. And it was, wow, I haven't had this level of visitation, you know. And it's since I came here.
Since you came here, yeah. You're UK?
I'm Scotland, yeah.
Scottish.
Yeah.
You from which side? Glasgow side or?
I'm from Aberdeen.
Okay.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from the U.S. Yeah, New York City. Originally, but
New
grew up in
York.
California.
Okay.
Yeah, New York.
New York, yeah.
Yep. They can't go barefoot in New York because it's just too much soot and crap on the ground.
Why are you here? Why here in Iceland?
We just led a retreat here, and we took everyone out to all the sacred sites on the western side of Iceland and in the south, some of the more popular tourist sites. And then afterwards, we just like to get into the wilderness and have a good time. And then we heard today that you were out here, and we were like, let's go track him down. Let's see how he's doing and talk to him about earthing. And one of the things that's happening out there is there's more and more interest in this. It's growing by the millions, I'd say, every month.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, I've been putting the word out there.
I've done the whole planet, you know. I've traveled, I've been to, I used to lead retreats to Peru and everywhere, but there's just no comparison.
Iceland, no comparison. He's right. That's why we keep coming here. And to Peru too. We love Peru, but this place is something really special.
It just it hums and it dings, and it's got something. And I think if you want to understand the people here, you got to do this first.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you'll understand the people.
Yeah. They're tough here. They've been through a lot.
I know.
Unbelievable.
I know. Yeah.
Where are you headed? What's the next destination
I'm on my way to that wee hut down there. There's a little wee white hut way over there. That's where I'm headed. And I'm going to follow the moss as far as I can. And I got to get there before, well, I just got to get there. Nice meeting you, Chief.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, thank you for dropping in.
Have the best day ever.
The intuition about this place from the beginning was that actually Iceland, maybe in the future, is going to be the country that actually gets people connected, right? Now we all know it's a very advanced country politically and you know, in many other ways, artistically, we all know that. But there's this side of it where everybody's in this thermal connection every day, which is pure earthing, right? And maybe the people here haven't seen that connection yet. What do you think? Do they know that they're earthing every time they're in the thermal pool?
No, they don't.
They don't know, right?
Yeah.
So bringing that component to Iceland is maybe one part of the story. Like, you're the luckiest people on earth because actually every day you have this. Nobody else has this.
maybe that's one side of the story. And the other side of the story is that the atmosphere, the land, the power of this land is definitely off the charts. I mean, it's emotionally very powerful.
Have a great trip, man.
I'll take the high road. Okay, cheerio, thank you kindly.
Get full support, love you! Grounding! Mission grounding!
I'm in the tent, base camp 4, and it was about 20 Ks today. It was a good day. Left the hut at 3 and skirted the mountain, and I crossed this wasteland to get to the pylon road, and it was amazing. It was like gray volcanic ash mixed with massive outcrops of rock and a lot of small rocks. So I was very careful because that is Sprain City. If you lose your attention for 1 second on that kind of surface, you're going to sprain your ankle and you're going to be in serious trouble. So I'm very aware of the risks, especially alone, walking in that kind of terrain. And so I got super focused, paced myself, paid attention to every single step. And after about 4 hours, I got onto the pylon road, as we call it. So I'm feeling really good. It was a strong walk once I got onto the densely packed lava road. How I could have imagined that I would walk on that barefoot. I must have been out of my tiny little mind, really. I mean, some enormous exaggeration of my imagination figured out that the soles of my feet would get tough enough to walk on that. Never in 100 years will any human soul get tough enough to walk on shredded lava, baby. No way. So it's day 5. We're in a cabin. Beautiful cabin. We've actually got a tree outside, a river flowing nearby. It was a hell of a day. The map is not the territory. It was a short distance actually from Camp 4 to Camp 5, and everything looked pretty easy on the map. Now we're talking.
However, what you don't see on the map, well, there's a lake and there's a river coming out of the lake, and it looks like you can just cross over the river and carry on your merry way. There was no place to actually cross the river. There was one point where there was a jump was possible, I thought. I thought I could jump from one side of the river to the other, but underneath that drop was a very, very fast flowing river that was coming out of the lake and immediately became a waterfall. And if the jump had failed, absolutely no question, I would have died. There's no question in my mind. If I'd fallen into that water, boom, bashed to pieces, you know, going down the waterfall. So we had difficulties with navigation today. We had difficulties with communication today, and I'm very thankful that we're safe. Gunnar especially was wonderful. He stayed longer than was necessary to connect with me via cell phone, which was possible, and I asked him to bring a rope, and I wanted to tie one end of the rope to me, and I was going to jump over that gap, which I think is doable, but with a rope, if I had slipped, I still wouldn't have fallen into the waterfall. But he suggested something better, which was to swim across the lake far enough away from the strong turbulence going from the lake into the river, so that I wouldn't get sucked into the vortex. And I managed to swim across in a couple of minutes.
And so it was a very sobering day, and it turned out good, but it could have turned out any other number of ways. So I'm very thankful that we're fine. Me and Hiroki had some arguments about, why this happened, and we all have our different understandings, and it's very difficult for Hiroki because it's the first time he's driven here and he doesn't know the roads, and it's easy to get lost.
That reaction was simply coming from the incredible fear that I had gone through that day. Which translated then into anger. Which translates into blame. So you can see the whole cycle. I get afraid, then I get angry, and I want to blame somebody. And that was like, again, direct feedback.
So that was just an outburst, and now you're friends again.
Oh, it was, from the next day, everything was like really good. And he goes ahead 5 kilometers or 6 kilometers. That's how I pace it.
And then you, of course, have large areas in Iceland where you just don't have phone connection.
There were times when we were out of contact for half a day. I went off-road. I had a GPS. I sight a mountain and I keep it, and then I don't need to look at the GPS all the time. Because I got that to look at. And those were probably the most magical moments when there's just no road.
I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. The averaging 23 kilometers a day, and I'm finding the balance, getting 9 hours sleep. If I get 9 hours sleep, I can walk all day. I figured it out. I can walk all day and I don't feel, I did 24 kilometers today, I don't feel tired. So something about this landscape, something about this environment is deeply energizing. So I'm feeling absolutely fantastic, and the sun's out. I mean, and this, I just, the glacier behind me I saw today was just stunning. And in 9 days, I think one thing I could say, love the moss, fear the lava. I feel the rhythms here. I know what I can do. I know what I can't do. So all I got to do is take one step at a time. It's simple. We're at the place where the thermal springs come out, and I can't pronounce it for the life of me. I've been trying all day to remember how to pronounce the name of this place. Hveraviklia. Finally, I got here, and I'm gonna go and get into the hot water, like pronto. It's beautiful. The moon's out, the sun's out, the sky is clear. What more do you want? Checking the distance here. As there are many interesting hot springs in the area with thick precipitate formations around them. The picture shows the hot springs. Yeah, I can read that, I can read that, I can read that. Whoa! Maybe I can get rid of these. Maybe I can get rid of these. Definitely improving my eyes. This is one thing is that will result, I think, from this trip is I'm going to just radically cut the amount of time I spend in front of a computer screen, because that is obviously damaging my eyes, and all I'm seeing every day is this gorgeous nature and sky and clouds and green. Fixing the eyes. Great. Unexpected bonus.
Det var leveré. Så Sorry about that. And we're going to go up here, I think, today. And we're going to carry up. This is a huge lake, Blondulon. And we won't be on the main road, of course, but we're going to be heading up here, here, which should take about, it's 108 kilometers. That should be 5 days. Hi, Molly.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Amazing
too.
man.
I heard, I mean, talk about coincidence. In the hot pool yesterday, I hear about this famous Icelandic chef shooting
The crawfish with
the crawfish
yeah.
that you had shot in the Bahamas, and he's telling me the story, and then he says, "The guy's here." This has happened all during this journey.
That's amazing. That is amazing. But what do you eat then?
My wonderful Japanese assistant does soups.
Yeah.
Get hot soup a couple of times a day. Cheese, eggs. For protein, I'm getting fish, sardines.
Wow.
Oh, and your yogurt, your marvelous yogurt.
Skyr?
Skyr.
Yeah.
Yeah. And nuts. Nuts. And so nuts, dried fruit, cheese, sardines.
Interesting.
What else? What do I need?
I don't know. I think you're pretty much covered.
I'm covered?
Yeah. You know, up here we just focus on something very simple. You know, we do we call it Halla's famous shepherd pie, where we make it actually out of sheep meat, not the lamb meat.
Shepherd's pie is a delicacy in Scotland.
It is, yeah. But we make it, you know, we make it into a stew, and then we have a potato crust over it, and we bake it like that. It's really good. I mean, it won't match your sardines, I bet you.
Shepherd's pie. I grew up with shepherd's pie.
It's not a common thing in Iceland actually at all. I think it's quite interesting, and I think it's very interesting to meet a guy who is actually doing this journey by foot and actually barefoot.
As much as possible. But look at this place. I mean, look at this place. You know, no wonder everybody's suddenly interested in Iceland. It's not just the visual. You know, people look at pictures of Iceland, they go, "Wow, that's pretty," but they can't actually get the feeling of how powerful this environment actually is. You know, and I've been all over the world. All my life I've been a traveler, like the whole world. And really, there is nothing like this anywhere in terms of environment.
I love the wintertime. I've been here in the wintertime. I think that's really, really...
So you're sitting in there surrounded by snow?
Yeah, it is. Nice. Northern Lights.
Oh, and the Northern Lights.
Yeah, this is a great spot for that in the wintertime.
Well, next time let's get together in winter and definitely have some shepherd's pie.
It was amazing meeting you, man. All the best on your journey.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Feet are slowly getting better. I was still limping a little bit, but I'm taking care of my feet every night, putting antibiotic cream on the cuts. Definitely my feet are improving. The rest of the body's doing great. Another river to cross.
But you had to go across a river, you just strip down naked and cross a river, right?
Oh, that river.
Yeah.
It took a long time. because my feet are so tender.
Yeah.
And it was all gravel and rock in the bottom. I mean, I had clothes on the top.
Yeah.
I was naked from the waist down.
Yeah.
I wasn't conscious of the cold because I was so concerned about not losing my balance.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always the stronger of the two fears concerns you. The other one you forget.
Yeah.
So I had no idea how cold it was until I came out.
Then you started to shiver.
No, I didn't start to shiver. I started to scream.
Yeah.
Because the pain in my feet was unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like, yeah.
So on these walks, what are you thinking about? Like what goes through your mind?
Your whole life
Yeah?
from the start. Not in a happy memory, sad memory kind of chronological way, but suddenly a memory will
Pop up.
just grab you. I started to look up instead of looking at my feet. Day 10, I've been looking at my feet every minute of the day. And today, there was a change. I thought, okay, now I can trust my feet to find the way. I maybe check once every 10 minutes, but I can look at the sky, I can look around, I can see the river, I can see the beautiful plants that are bursting into bloom, and I can walk and look up for the first time. So this is a really important day for me. I can look up, but I'll still keep looking down every now and again to check.
And what did you do in your tent?
Read,
Okay.
slept, woke up, read, wrote, smoked,
Yeah.
repeat the cycle. So it became a natural rhythm of how to spend 12 hours not moving and just being with yourself, which was precious time.
Yeah.
Just absolutely precious. Nobody to bother you.
And what were you reading?
2 books.
Yeah.
The New Testament and a book called No Man is an Island. and in Ireland, of course, can also be pronounced
Iceland.
Island.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious. And it's one of the most honestly, brutally honest written books about solitude. So we arrived here, started about 9, got in here after 6. So it's been a long day. My feet are doing well. Just a couple of tiny little things left needs to get healed, but otherwise really good. We've got snow up in the mountain above. And what can I say about this beautiful place? Look at the flowers, look at the gently flowing stream. I mean, one wants to wax poetic here. It's an incredibly gorgeous place. Varmalit! Solitude, being alone, is the most undervalued thing in modern life. It is so important to be alone. It is so vitally important to be alone. If you don't know how to be alone, there is no way you can have a relationship with another human being. So you might as well get with the alone, and then you can get with other people. When I came on the asphalt road, I got muscle pains in my leg. I haven't had any muscle pains in 2 weeks. Nothing. I had foot pain, but no muscle pain. So that tells me that the theory of earthing is correct. Asphalt insulates your body from the surface of the earth. So I get off the asphalt, and from now, I will avoid, as much as possible, I will avoid that asphalt. Beautiful. This will fix the last wound is in here somewhere. Oh yeah, nice. In there. That's fixed now. We'll rub in a bit of sand to fix it. There you go. That should do it. And the skin's all come off here, you can see. This is all time to go.
Might as well get rid of it now. And the right foot, how we doing here? So you see, these are very, very baby skin feet. But they're looking pretty good considering what happened on the second day was not funny. The best hot spring, absolutely, was where the old outlaw, Greti, his pool, that was the best. Absolutely. I think it'll be a change of plan. We'll camp here for a week. It was the best temperature, the best view. You could actually see the bubbles coming from below where the heat was actually coming into the water. And if you stepped there, it was burning hot. That was the best. And the history around it. Just imagining this guy, I mean, swimming to his island, you know, like 3, 4, 5 hours swimming across that to get to his island. But just imagining, you know, somebody doing that regularly. What kind of human being that was. What kind of level of health and resilience that guy must have had to do that. Japan, like Iceland, is a volcanic country. It has lots of hot springs like this. We call them onsen. A lot of outdoor ones too. Everybody in Japan knows that they're good for the health, but they have a belief that it's because of the stuff in the water, the minerals. That's what makes you feel good. But now that I've been practicing earthing, I have a different idea. This connects directly to the earth. Water, the sea, is the best place to earth. Same thing. Water, earth, connected. This is the best place, actually the best place to get connected to the earth. Feels like, it definitely feels that way. The wee Icelandic horsey, ah, how pretty you are today. The wee Icelandic horsey, what else do we have to say? The wee Icelandic horsey, so proud and big and free. The wee Icelandic horsey, oh, a kiss on me. What a great birthday present from the wee Icelandic horsey. Oh, what a lovely kiss I get from you, darling. Best birthday present ever. I've been singing to the horses, I've been singing to the birds. I sang in Japanese for the cows today and apologized for eating so many of the brothers and sisters on my paleo diet so I could lose weight. And they were very forgiving. One big cow came right up and gave me a kiss too. So I got a cow kiss and a horse kiss today. I mean, what else do you want on your birthday? The old man and the horse, not the old man in the sea. You know, I've crossed a few rivers. That was the best. The horses just came out of nowhere, and the way those men had complete control over the movement of the horses. And they used the dogs, and you couldn't have timed that. You couldn't have timed it. Boom! So much beautiful energy and power just banging across that river. And I'm like, I'm going across the river like this. It's like, this is how you cross a river. I had received so much. Like, it's very difficult to express how much I felt I received from the land, from the environment. Gifts all day. Might be a bird, might be a cow, might be a horse, might be a landscape. But it's all gifts, you know, because I know it's doing something to me that's really wonderful. Aha, the birthday party. What a fantastic location that was, where a family had lived for something like 36 years, and this was their memorial place. It was the closest thing to a ruin I've seen anywhere. And it was just absolutely, of all the birthday parties ever, beyond doubt the best. And then I jumped in the river.
This is the spot. This is the spot for the birthday bath. Right under the sun.
Ocean and river are really good conductors of what we'll just call earth energy, for lack of a better word. And so every time I come out of a river, I feel like super. It's simple. You just feel great. It's not just the cold. It's the movement of the river, the connection with the earth, everything. You got to jump in if you want to find out. You know, you just got to jump in. I was walking today and I was thinking, if I wanted to give Iceland a nickname, I would call it Earthland, not Iceland. Because here, of all the countries, I've been all over the world, here you can actually really appreciate the power and the magnificence of the earth, because it's so completely untouched by human hand or foot. It's completely new in a geological sense. This is one of the newest places on the planet as far as I know. It's fresh, it's new, it's just singing with energy. And of course the weather patterns are so astonishingly varied that every day there's 10, 20 different changes. And then you're in the middle of this. So Earthland, I would nickname this marvelous terrain, Earthland. If you want to get connected to the earth in a really fundamental way, come here and take your shoes off, or jump in a river, get in touch with the place, feel it, and then you'll find out what you're thinking is pretty hard to tell people about, actually. It's so far outside of most modern people's lives. You have to invent new words for it. Or, as my Irish mother would have said, don't be talking, say nothing. describe emotions, very generally speaking, very happy. Very happy. Calm. Content. Yeah, content. That's a good word. Contentment is a little bit different from happiness in English. Contentment means you feel completely full. You don't need anything else. Like, what do you got to offer me compared to this? I don't think you got anything to offer me. I'm here. I have arrived. This is contentment. So I think that'd probably be the best word to describe the emotion. Yeah. This rock was built for a foot massage. Whoa! Yeah! Yeah. Oh yeah, that's it. Another perfect day in the Highlands. The key to this whole journey, really simply, one step at a time. Not thinking about tomorrow. Drop the past. That leaves us with this. Which is more than you could ever want. The wind was marvelous. Oh, it was just marvelous. I loved that wind because it just blew it away. I actually did this. I was throwing memories away into the wind like this. I've had that one enough.
Did it result in crying, screaming,
Oh,
shouting,
yeah.
laughing?
Oh yeah, all of those.
All of those.
All of those.
Yeah?
Yeah. All of those. So walking through, which is why I feel so phenomenally good now.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've just let go. So much useless stuff doesn't serve me. Thanks to Iceland, I think it did a really good job of this.
So you think your recommendation would be for people to stop taking drugs, come to Iceland, and walk barefoot across the Icelandic desert?
Absolutely.
Scream into the wind.
Go in and scream into the wind and shout and rage.
Yeah.
And sleep like a baby in your tent.
Yeah.
And then do all over again the next day.
So you've been walking in the Black Desert for days, then you got into Landmannalaugar. How did that feel? I
really didn't like it.
Why?
Way too many tourists. It was everything I wanted to get away from was there.
Yeah, yeah.
And so quickly decided I'm not going to stay there. And when I realized I was leaving the Highlands, I just got really emotional. Like, I don't want to leave. I don't want to go down. So that was kind of really surprising. Like, must be love. I'm headed into the last stage here to Vik.
And I really want to slow time down because I realize I can get there in 6 days, no problem. I think 6, 7 days. And no health issues at all. Been healthier than I've ever been in my life. Now I believe that's connected to walking connected to the earth. And the more I do it, the better I feel. And maybe that's why I don't want to end it, because if I go back to the unconnected world, you know, it's not going to be this level of energy and health that I have here. I mean, it's got to do with this environment, you know. It's just spectacular. Spectacular. Precious, precious time that you can never recapture. You can't go back, even if you try to do it all over again.
No, it wouldn't be.
So to recognize that preciousness is really important in whatever stage of life you're at. You know, this is precious, so let's just savor it. The word is savor. Really enjoy the taste and the feel and the smell and the sound of all of this. Nobody brought any water. That's good. The most important message that came out of all of this was kindness. Kindness. What? You have to learn to be kind. And I look back on my life and my cranky, Celtic, angry, uptight, judgmental, critical nature. At the age of 65, was like, you can't carry on like this. However long you got left, you got to change this. And who would have imagined that this wild and lonely and beautiful place would come with something like that? Beyond my any expectation. I never would have imagined that could happen. So, and that kept coming back. And it came back in actual demonstrations. People would stop in the middle of a storm. And 2, 3 cars a day. But one of them would stop and the window would roll down. And this old guy with a beard, with a German accent, he said, "You okay? You need food? You need water? Are you okay?" And then a woman came and she said, "You're walking like zigzag over the road. Are you okay? Seriously, are you okay?" I said, yeah, you get this way when you walk in the wind all day." I wasn't aware I was zigzagging. But these random acts of kindness were kind of reinforcing the idea that the environment had already brought to me. This strange message. Nothing to do with health or feet. Nothing to do with starting a movement and being the leader of the movement. It was like, how are you going to be different? Seriously, how are you going to be different after this? Because we're going to call you on it. You can't go and buy that anywhere. You can't be trained to get that anywhere. Nobody can feed you that with any religion or any, system. You actually got to walk into that. And if you're lucky, and I've been very lucky, so lucky, my body's held up every day. I mean, magnificent health right through. And I credit the power of this place. The power of this place alone is not enough. You can come here and be a tourist and, oh, the power of this place. But you actually got to connect to the place before it will share its power through your body. And by God, it did that with me. Unforgettably so. And so yeah, there was lots of crying, yeah. How did I feel when I arrived? Felt very happy and very sad and very lucky. Very, very lucky, very blessed that this journey of 633 kilometers has been so spectacular a way to meet Iceland. I can't imagine any other way of meeting this country. From coast to coast, Atlantic to Atlantic. And look at it, look at this Atlantic today, whoa, it's just raging with power. It's a beautiful place. Vik. And this is just amazing. I get the wind at my back, like, you get some help on the last bit. We'll help you on the last bit, old man. The old man in the sea. Thank you for guiding me to this town. Perfect place to finish. Well, thank you all my ancestors across the waves. You gave me a bloody good body. Good DNA, thank you. Got me through this. Mother, father, grandfather, grandmother, all of you. All the way through the chain, through Ireland, all the way back. Thanks for the body. Thanks for the body. My wife, we've been together for 43 years and we've actually renewed our marriage vows 6 times. We have an understanding and a trust, and we're going to renew that here in Iceland for the 7th time. So let's do it.
In the name of Father, to the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.